And if I then may just follow up on that, who initiated the meeting?
I asked for the meeting.
Now, I understand then that the detail of what was discussed regarding the Medicare 24 contract, for which you invoke your rights as an accused, as well as the discussion around the warrant of arrest in respect of the Johannesburg court case, the detail will be provided in the supplementary statement.
Yes.
And in respect of both, you invoke your right not to self-incriminate.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I just ask one more
Yes.
question, sorry. Is this the same meeting where General Senona was present?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that the same one?
Yes.
He's already testified as regards the date and time. So I think he said it was in April.
April.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. And you will accept that date of the April because you say it's the one occasion?
Yes.
Okay. This then would lead us to your paragraph 16, starting at the bottom of page 13. And at the bottom of page 13, you respond specifically to what was raised in paragraph 2.3 of the 10-6 notice. Now, in regard to 2.3, you are requested to speak to 5 instances or incidents and to explain your involvement in any one of them. They are listed from 2.3.1 to, in 6, in fact, 2.3.6. You confirm that? That was what was requested of you, 6 separate incidents. If you could just have regard to page 4 of the 10.6.
Page 4, you said 2.3 point?
If we're at page 4 of the 10.6 notice.
Yes,
Now we're dealing with paragraph 2.3. If you look at your statement at page 13, you
Uber?
Cindy, next time, check the price on the app.
and 2.3.4. Just for the record, 2.3.3 required you to provide detail of and your involvement in the circumstances in which Sergeant Fanning Kosi came into possession of your Luxor Africa Bank card. You were required to list all the periods when he had possession of the card and what, when, and for what this card was used for. You deal with that at paragraph 16. You confirm that?
Yes, I do.
Then paragraph 2.3.4 of the notice required you to address the loan of funding agreement entered with Mr. Salim Karim or any of his companies in or about June 2024 or any other date, including a copy of such agreement and the terms thereof. That you deal with at paragraph 17, where you deal with paragraph 2.3.4 of the notice. You confirm?
Yes, I confirm.
Now, I note from your statement that you specifically don't deal with paragraphs 2.3.1, 2.3.2, 2.3.5, and 2.3.6. Now, before we then deal with the matters that you respond to, let's try and address the matters that you choose not to respond to. 2.3.1 required you to speak of your involvement in Major General Khan's disciplinary hearing, including communications with Mr. Mokgotsi regarding Mr. Maluleke's testimony and attempts to bribe him in order for him to change his testimony in favor of Major General Khan. You don't deal with that, the issues raised in that particular sub-paragraph. Is there a reason for that?
Honestly, it's an oversight. I don't have a reason not to deal with this one. I can deal with it now. I'm sorry about this.
If you can deal with it now, we would appreciate if you spoke to it, because this is your moment to respond to the regulation 10.6 as received. So let's start with paragraph 2.3.1. You have looked at it, you have considered it. What can you say as regards what's set out therein, and anything that you may overlook in the process, you will then elaborate on in your supplementary. But for the moment, you can introduce us to any response you have to that question.
So it's in regards with Mr. Madlanga, am I right? 2.3.1.
2.3.1, yes.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Madlanga, I know him, he was staying at my house. The reason for him to stay at my house, I think he was robbed or something, and he didn't have a place to stay, and then I offered him a place to stay. So he was staying at my house, and as soon as he heard that the police went to my house and to do that first raid, and I've been complaining about the conduct of the police to extent that I even attempted to make an agent high court application to interdict the police from harassment. So I've been sharing these things with him anyway. So there came a point where I don't know who contacted Mr. Madlanga, but he told me that, listen, I've been asked to go and testify against, give testimony in relation to General Khan. So, and then he said, because these people who I requested me to go there and testify, that are the people who went to your house and raid your house. So is there anything that you want me to do in regards with this thing? So, and then I told him that, listen, whatever it is, I've already sorted out my issues with these people. So I don't have anything to do with them anyway. So, but he said to me, he already spoken to some guy, Mr. Mohoti. And Mr. Mohoti asked him to go there and then to testify, but I do not know what he was supposed to say in his testimony. So he wanted my confirmation that, do you really want me to go there and then testify in favor of General Khan? I said, I do not know General Khan anyway, and then even if you do, it won't help me with anything, because I already sorted out my problems with the police that were raiding my house. So from what I heard is, I heard it from Mr. Mohoti, that he said to Mr. Mohoti that I'm going to testify in favor of General Khan, but I want you to speak to your people to give me a promotion and some money. So Mohoti showed me the communication between himself and Mr. Madlanga. So there was a meeting that they were supposed to have a meeting somewhere. I think it was in a hotel somewhere in Johannesburg. I forgot the name of the hotel. So I asked Mohoti that, okay, did your person did what you said he will do? He said, yes, he did, but he told me that they've even recorded him, I think, because he was asking for promotion and money. So I will say, from the top of my head, that's how I remember about this Mr. Madlanga story.
By whether he had done what he had said he would do, were you referring to him testifying at the disciplinary proceedings?
Yes.
So he had said he had testified.
No, not the disciplinary proceedings, I'm sorry. He was going, before he went to testify, he had an appointment with Mr. Mokgotsi. And then Mr. Mokgotsi arranged, I don't know with who. They met with those people. And then that's when maybe they were planning to try to come up with how is he going to testify, I think. So during that meeting, that's when he was recorded. Mr. Mokgotsi told me that they've recorded him, and then he's asking for money and a promotion. I said, then if he's stuck there, then why don't you ask the person that is helping you to give you money? So why are you, that cannot be my problem. So I left it like that, and then...
So when you asked whether Mr. Maluleke had done what he had said he would do, were you asking about whether he had made an approach for him to be promoted?
No.
When you asked, has he done what he said he would do, what
Yes.
were you asking about?
I was asking that he said he will testify in favor of General Khan. So I was asking Mr. Mokgotsi that did he do that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And just as a follow-up, considering the issue, which was you were to speak to Major General Khan's disciplinary hearing, and then including communication between Mr. Mokgotsi and Mr. Maluleke, and you testified as you have. I'm not sure I understand, or I'm clarified in my mind, what evidence could you potentially give at the disciplinary hearing? What evidence were you being requested to provide at the hearing?
I don't know. I will be lying. I don't know.
And you don't know in relation to what aspect of the disciplinary?
What I know is it had to do with General Khan. And then what was the details of the disciplinary hearing, that I don't know.
Besides testifying, what role did you understand was required of you? What role did you understand was expected of you?
Of me?
Yes, in all of this,
No, it's not. There was no role. I think Mr. Madlanga wanted to do me a favor.
Yes.
Because of he was under the impression that at that point, I'm not in good terms with the police.
Yes.
So then the very same police, they are the same people who asked him to come and testify.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to do me a favor and then testify in favor of the person that they wanted to discipline, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe then the misunderstanding was mine. You were not being required to go testify.
No, not
That was-
myself.
okay.
No.
Then I think I misheard you.
Now, can I just clarify, Mr. Matlala, the favor that you say you think he wanted to do you a favor?
Yes.
The favor would have been what? That General Khan is acquitted?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just, sorry, Mr. Law. Did you speak to Mr. Maluleke when you offered him a place to stay? Who actually spoke to him and arranged a place for him to stay?
I went to see him at the hospital, and then after he got out of the hospital, there's a guy who stays at it's a cottage.
Yes.
So I connected him with that guy, and then he went there.
But he did speak to you,
Who?
Mr. Maluleke.
Yes.
And then you say when there was a raid at your house, you also told him about that.
Yes.
So you spoke to him
Yes.
on at least 2 occasions?
No, couple of times, not two.
Couple of
times, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, ClickUp. What did I just agree to in that meeting? My team works in ClickUp.
Not that I can think of, but if I think of something, I will add it in my supplementary
Your supplement.
affidavit.
Noted, thank you. The next question is at 2.3.2, and here you were asked to speak to your involvement in the delivery of Impala to General Sibia and any other forms of gratification you may given to General Sibia. It's at 2.3.2. Once again, that issue is not addressed at all in your statement. Would you like an opportunity to do so now?
Yes, this will also be in my supplementary affidavit because I just heard from the recordings after I've made this affidavit that there's a recording. In that recording, there is I'm mentioning this Impalas in that recording. And then I did not know by then that there was a recording which speaks about such things. So now I have to go back and then make a supplementary affidavit in relation with this Impala story.
I hear you, because now you want to engage with the recording itself, whether it's by way of questioning or challenging its correctness or otherwise. That's a separate issue. Mine is, you were specifically asked in the 10.6 to speak about the delivery to General Sibia of Impalas and any other form of gratification given to him. So we can confine ourselves to the question as posed. The content of the recording we will deal with in the fullness of time.
Yes, Commissioner, like I said, I do not want to incriminate myself because I know that the recordings are under investigation. And by the time when I made my affidavit, I was not aware of that. So I just heard the recordings after. So I do not want to comment on something which on a later stage will incriminate me.
So that if I understand you correctly, in respect to the question posed at 2.3.2, are you asserting your right against self-incrimination?
Yes.
And what in particular would you be speaking to that places you at risk of self-incrimination insofar as the delivery of Impalas to General Sibia is concerned? I just need to understand the basis upon which you are invoking that. Are you facing criminal charges for that currently?
No, there's investigations.
Yes.
Which has been said in open court that there is currently investigations going on. So what I will do is I think I will get the transcripts and then of my court proceedings, and then I think I need to attach them to my supplementary affidavit.
Can you clarify? I asked Ms. Hassim here, perhaps because I don't necessarily know everything. Which court proceedings are you referring to?
The Johannesburg High Court.
Is that the attempted murder case?
Yes. Let me try to clarify this.
Please, if you can.
We asked for the recordings during the pre-trial. And then the state advocate said that no, the recordings, they are not part of that trial, of that case. So it's something else which they are investigating. Meaning whatever is in the recordings is under investigation. So hence I'm saying now I do not want to comment on that because I know that it's under investigation.
So if this is for my understanding, is it your attitude that the Commission cannot engage you on anything that you suspect is currently under investigation?
Not suspect, something that I know for a fact that is under investigation.
So you cannot be engaged on anything that is currently under investigation?
Yeah,
whatever the basis of investigation and progress of investigation, is that the attitude you assume?
Yes, I do not want to incriminate myself in that.
Sorry to interrupt, my learned friend. Chairperson, again, this issue of General Sibia, I want to place on record, forms part of the whole IDAC matter that we intend to deal with also in our application as well as in the supplementary affidavit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I just ask to make sure I understand? You're saying there is an investigating officer who is looking at the question of the delivery of Impalas to General Sibia?
I'm saying there is an investigation, the entire recording. So I do not know out of the entire recording, which part is investigated, which part is not. But what I'm saying is, in that recording, there is the Impala issue in that recording. So I do not know whether it's part of it or not. But what I know is that they're saying that recording itself is under investigation.
So your answer to my question is, you are not saying, as a matter of fact, that there is an investigating officer who is investigating the issue of Impalas delivered to General Sibia. That's not what you're saying to us.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, you're not saying that as a fact. You see, you're raising, you say you're reluctant to speak to it because you don't
Yes.
want to incriminate yourself.
Yes.
So it's important that we understand the basis of it. That is it just a suspicion that you have that the delivery of Impalas is being investigated? It's a suspicion, and we have to deal with it on the basis that it's a suspicion, or, as a matter of fact, there is an investigator, an investigating officer, who is looking at this specific question. It is important to understand which one you're relying on.
What I understand is they said there is an investigation, so they did not specify, because there's a number of issues in that recording. So they did not specify that directly we're investigating this, not this. That I do not know. So I cannot say it's under investigation or not. But what I know is that the entire recording itself, they say they are investigating it. So I do not want to sit here and saying, no, this is under investigation. Which chances are there? Maybe it might not be under investigation, or it might be. I do not know that.
And if it is not under investigation, you would be able
Of course, yes.
to speak to it.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
And if then I may just follow up on that, you'll be able to make a determination based on the recording itself. Is that what you need to hear in full to understand whether or not there's an investigation, or is there some other exercise we can expect you to undertake to determine whether or not there's an investigation regarding the Impala specifically? Where do we land? I'm trying to anticipate what we can expect in your supplementary, because as you say to Commissioner Balo, you don't know whether specifically the issue of Impalas is the subject of investigation. You can't say that for a fact.
Yes.
You know that it features in the recording.
Yes.
And you need an opportunity to listen to the recording in its entirety. Did I understand you
No,
correctly?
I'm not saying that.
Okay. Then
I've listened to the recording. That's
Yes.
why I'm saying I know that the Impala's issue is part of the recording.
Okay.
I've listened to the recording. I do not know whether the investigating team is also investigating the Impala aspect. I do not know that. What I know is the state advocate said the recordings is under investigation.
Okay.
So which investigation, I cannot tell. I do not know that.
So then it's fair to depart from the premise that when we resume, armed now, by then with your supplementary statement, you will be able to indicate to the commissioners, as a matter of fact, that particular issue is the subject of ongoing investigations.
I cannot promise that, because for me to find out, I have to engage with the investigators then, and I'm currently in custody, so I do not know how I will find a way to find out for sure that they are under investigation or not. I do not know that.
Then, so we leave it on the basis that you will deal with it in the supplementary statement, specifically that issue, and how the Commission then deals with what you say in regard to the Impalas to General Sibia will be the subject of the legal debate, whether or not you are required to answer that to. Is that what you are suggesting?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is it possible to avoid the legal debate by simply inquiring from IDEC whether this specific issue is the subject of investigation? If they say it is not, then as I understand Mr. Matlala, there would be no reason for him not to answer.
Chairperson,
Sorry.
maybe I can deal with
Sorry,
that.
I was not addressing you. Please wait your turn, Ms. Van Heerden. I'm raising it as a possibility. I'm not
hear
saying
that.
that's what must happen.
I hear that. We could do that, except that we run the risk of IDEX saying that it's not it's not subject of our investigation. That does not exclude some other law enforcement subs investigations, for instance. And hence my interest to find out from Mr. Matlala what his understanding is in regard to any investigations concerning the Impala. He should be able to indicate.
Can I do this? Sorry, because I wanted you to finish on this issue and then Ms. Van Heever gets the opportunity. In light of what Ms. Sello has said, there's no need. I think I'm covered.
But perhaps let me still hear Ms. Van Heever. It sounded as if you had your ideas on a possible solution. Yes, Ms. Van Heever?
Chairperson, there's maybe just for the record legally, the issue of suspicion has got an objective and a subjective part. I think we must all just place this on record. So it's not a question of seeing it very simplistically. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is that when it comes to IDAC, we are in the process and we have been engaging them on certain aspects. So we as officers of the court, that means the legal team, would be able to engage you on that issue itself. It is, I would find it extremely, maybe I should use the word weird, for an accused person who's currently incarcerated to be able to answer the question as to whether there's an investigation on or not. We as legal people normally engage the various authorities that deal with these aspects to establish what the position is with regard to that. But to allay any concerns in that regard, we are busy with this whole issue involving General Sabia and other issues relating to him with IDAC inter alia. But it's not only IDAC, it was the PKTT itself that was involved in the recording that my client is referred to. And maybe also just to correct that, what was placed on record then, please, I'm not making myself a witness, it's recorded in court. In other words, it's something that can be dealt with here. It was placed on record that the subject of what is contained in these recordings are being investigated. And the inference that I would draw from that thinking back was that the PKTT and their cohorts are busy investigating issues that forms part of this interview that was, or the statement that my client was made to do. But again, as I said, I want to emphasize, we are going to address legal points to you on that in due course as part of the supplementary and on the points eliminated.
And not just the legal issues, but also the pertinent factual question whether there is any investigation relating to the alleged delivery of Impalas to General Sabia by Mr. Matlala.
Indeed, as I've indicated to you,
that factual issue, whether there is, because otherwise the privilege of self-incrimination will be a non-starter. So that should be addressed specifically as a factual issue. Yes.
Chairperson, where I started off this morning, you will recall I said that when we deal with these issues, we have to deal with it on a factual basis and on a legal basis. You cannot have a legal argument in abstracto. It needs to be supported by factual issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Then for my own edification, where we land is, Mr. Matlala, when you deal in your supplementary with the issue raised in paragraph 2.3.2, you will definitively state whether or not there is ongoing investigation in respect of the Impalas, and then you deal with the issue of Impalas the best as you can.
Yes.
And who is conducting such an investigation?
Is the, what is it called, GCI Ops, GCI Ops, Gauteng Counterintelligence Operations.
Well, these are matters you'll confirm in your supplementary, because it is important. Once you say there are investigations, then it presupposes that you know who's conducting the
Yes.
So you will state that fact in your supplementary. Thank you. We then turn to item 2.
Sorry,
Yes.
before you step off, just so that nothing falls between the cracks, that paragraph 2.3.2 speaks to it raises two questions.
New L'Oreal Paris Glass Skin. Liquid cream. Maximum glow. Zero stickiness.
I'm assuming that you adopt the same posture in respect of any other gratifications, and that you will then deal with it in your supplementary affidavit as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. That then brings us to the question set out in paragraph 2.3.3, and this required you to speak to the circumstances in which Sergeant Fanny Nkosi came into possession of the Luxor Africa Bank card. You were required to list all the periods when he had possession of the card and what, when, and for what he used this card. This you deal with at your page, starting at the bottom of page 13, where you have a heading at paragraph 2.3.3, and you deal with the Luxor Africa brand card at paragraph 16. So if you could take it from there.
Lux of Africa brand is my co-accused in the Medicare tender matter, and as such, I'm unable to respond to the question posed on the paragraph under reply. I'm of the view that I might incriminate myself by answering questions related to Nkosi and Lux of Africa in view of the pending case before the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court.
On that score, then if we, just so we always know what we are dealing with, is this the case you reference at paragraph 7.2 of your statement at page 9? Is that the Specialized Crimes Court, Commercial Crimes Court case? If you could go to page 9.
Yes, yeah,
It is.
Yes.
Then if you go still to, staying with page 9, paragraph 7.2, you recall we discussed the companies, your companies, through which you participated in the security services sector and the health sector. And we had identified Medicare 2420 Pty Limited, which you referenced at paragraph 7.2. At 8, you introduced CAT Protection and Security Services trading as CAT VIP. That's in the security industry. And the third is what the company you referenced at paragraph 9 that I think you named Black AK.
Black
Yes.
AK Trading
Black
and
AK
Supplies.
trading and suppliers, which you say you established in 28. So those are the 3 companies we earlier in the morning established. You participated in the 2 sectors. Against that understanding, are you able to highlight what is the relevance then of firstly Luxor Africa brand and what your association with that particular company is for purposes of the health sector or the security sector as you had testified?
No, this company, it didn't have any relation with any government entity at all.
Yes.
So the funds that I've been transferring funds from my Medicare account to this company.
Okay.
And so this company has been charged with money laundering because they've been following all the monies that been coming from the SAPS tender.
Yes.
So this is how this company ended up being my co-accused.
I understand.
So the statement is no longer being projected.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies, went on the blink for a second there. Now, the rank, Mr. Nkosi, Sergeant Nkosi. Sergeant Nkosi is not an accused in the case you reference here, is he?
No, he's not.
He's not. And the question related not to the inflow of funds into the Luxor Africa Bank account, which you've just explained, that it came from Medicare, the Medicare account. It is the outflow by Sergeant Nkosi. How does that potentially impact the criminal case?
Because now I'm mentioning my co-accused, which I also, Lots of Africa is my co-accused in
Yes.
this. So the money that went to Sergeant Nkosi is from Lux of Africa. So I do not want to do that because now I still have to ventilate this in court. This Lux of Africa funds, how did they end up into Mr. Nkosi's account?
I understood you to say that the issue really is because it's Medicare 24 and it's Luxco receiving funds from Medicare 24. Perhaps if I ask, are those the only funds that Luxco has received in its account in the period of its existence?
Not that I can think of.
So there might be
It
other
cannot be,
sources.
Yes. It cannot be, yeah.
So if there are other sources, Sergeant Nkosi could potentially have been drawing from the other sources that are untainted by the Medicare funds. Again, I struggle to understand how then would that be relevant for the Medicare 24 case? Because this is the spending by Sergeant Nkosi.
It is relevant because it's something which is in the docket. And then it's something which I need to, in court, see how to defend and challenge those charges. It's in the docket, to speak, and then luckily I even have the disclosure of the docket.
Okay.
I can share it with the commission and see that it is there.
Perhaps then, because I just want to understand and draw a distinction between Luxco as a recipient and Sergeant Nkosi spending the money
Yes.
and sources of funds into that particular bank account. Is it possible then in dealing that we request in your supplementary statement to deal further with the issues that you raise in paragraph 16 and to set out in the supplementary statement regard being head to the question as posed at paragraph 2.3.3, how your right can be self-incrimination because it's not yours. You are setting a right on behalf of your company that you don't incriminate your company. Is that my understanding?
Yes, it is, because the company, I'm representing the company.
Yes, but the company is an accused in its own right.
Yes.
So perhaps, and I'm saying this mainly to your counsel who, and I believe she'll be assisting you with this, if you can specifically address the question of how Section 35 extends to the question posed at paragraph 2.3.3 in respect of Sergeant Nkosi utilizing the funds of Luxco Africa Bank. Chair, I saw your microphone on. I thought you wanted to say something.
Thank you. Mr. Matlala, a few minutes back you said, open quote, it is in the docket, close quote. What I want to know is what exactly are you referring to? What is in the docket? Is it matters relating to Sergeant Nkosi and the transactions he made on the Luxco account? What exactly did you mean when you said it is in the docket?
I was referring to the Lux of Africa company, that it is part of the, it's part of my co-accused, and it is in the docket. Because the commissioner was asking me that how is it possible that Lux of Africa is not Medicare 24, then why is it also charged with this offense? So I wanted to maybe give her proof that it is in the docket because of, I have proof of that, and then it is also my co-accused. And then I do not want to prejudice my co-accused.
So in the docket, is there anything about the transactions made by Sergeant Nkosi?
I think so. I'm not sure, but during the interview they've mentioned, but I don't know whether they've included in the docket because I haven't seen the contents of the docket yet, but I know there's a disclosure. But
just a minute, please continue.
Yes, but during the interview, he's been mentioned. I just don't know whether he is in the docket or not.
Yes.
Chairperson, just for the record, and I'm sure you know this, the content of such a docket is sub judice. We cannot disclose what's in the docket in public at this point because it relates to an ongoing investigation, of course. And statements, etc., that's contained in there, we will make ourselves culpable, and my client would, if he does so ahead of time, whilst there's a pending matter and where contents of the docket is subject to that pending matter.
I'm asking the question to understand the basis of Mr. Matlala asserting the privilege against self-incrimination. Because if there's nothing about that, it may well be that the privilege does not arise. I would be very surprised that the issue that you raise can ever preclude us from asking these sort of questions. I would be very surprised if that is what the law is.
Chairperson, that's why I've indicated to you we're going to deal factually with these issues before you. I do understand that you have a right to ask questions. We've never disputed that right to ask the questions.
In the interest of time, may I make this suggestion? Ms. Silo,
Chair.
I hope both you and Ms. Vandenhoefer will agree to this. Let us leave this Luxo question and let us see what the supplementary affidavit will say, and in particular about the issues that we have specifically raised. But of course, we would want to hear more and the full basis on which the right against self-incrimination is being asserted. Let us leave it at that.
Of course, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Staying then, Mr. Matlala, with the notice, we then move to paragraph 2.3.4 in the notice, and that required you to speak to the loan or funding agreement entered into with Mr. Suleiman Karim or any of his companies in or about June 2022 or any other date, including requesting you to provide a copy of such agreement and that you speak to the terms of such agreement.
Did you say 2022 or did I
2024.
Apologies.
June 2024, that's the correct date. That is what is understood to be the date of the conclusion of this loan agreement. So that was the request to you at paragraph 2.3.4. You deal with that at your page 14 at paragraph 17. So if you could read that perhaps into the record. Thank you.
The loan agreement referred to herein is part of an ongoing criminal matter, and as such, I'm unable to respond to the question posed on the paragraph under reply. I'm of the view that I may incriminate myself by answering questions related to this loan agreement, as I believe it forms part of the Medicaid criminal matter which is pending before court. I was advised that there is a financial investigation being carried out with respect to all monies paid by SAPS into Medicaid and any transaction made in general within Medicaid bank accounts, and it is for this reason that I do not wish to incriminate myself.
If I understand your paragraph 17, your paragraph 17 correctly, the investigation relates to monies paid by SAPS. You state as such at your paragraph 17, right? That's what the investigation is about.
Yes.
Now, then it is safe to conclude that any funding and loans received from Mr. Karim in terms of a loan agreement does not constitute monies paid by SAPS.
It is.
Mr. Karim is SAPS.
No, not paid by SAPS, because I was paying the money back to Mr. Karim from the monies paid by SAPS.
So it says the investigation is into monies paid by SAPS into Medicare, and you say that that investigation extends to payments you would have made out of the funds in Medicare to pay the loan.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the question relates to your receipt of the loan, not how the loan was treated.
Vicks Actoplus Extra Strong. Extra strong cooling relief from stubborn cough.
agreement concluded with Mr. Suleiman Karim. Are you able to provide us with that?
I cannot provide with that because it's a matter that is under is in court, and then the purpose of the loan was because of to fund the Medicaid contract, and that contract is something which is now in court.
I appreciate that, and you explained earlier that the investigation into monies paid by SAPS into Medicare, extends to payments by Medicare to inter alia Mr. Karim in settlement of the loan. That's what I understood you to say.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, I say the question requested you to provide the agreement with Mr. Karim or any of his companies that you may have concluded on the date specified and the terms thereof. So it's the terms of the agreement that the Commission is interested in at the moment.
The terms of the agreement only.
The loan agreement, yeah. The loan agreement, or one, if there's one.
Yes, but the loan agreement has to do with the Medicare contract.
Okay.
So,
now, at least we've established there is a loan and there's a loan agreement. Is it in writing or oral?
it was oral.
It was oral.
Yes.
The date suggested there is June 2024 or thereabouts. Do you confirm that date?
Chairperson, I don't understand. The client has asserted his rights on that particular issue. And just for the record, my learned friend should know that in her investigation of these matters, more specifically the Medicare 24 contract, doesn't only relate to a tender that was awarded. There's issues under PRECA, there's issues under POCA that forms part of that particular matter. To try and simplify it with a non-legal person by saying it only relates to money coming from subs is pure and simply just not correct.
If I may, Chair, I was addressing myself to the manner in which Mr. Matlala elected to express himself. He invoked his rights where investigations are underway, and he indicates in the statement that the further investigations he's aware of are in respect of monies paid by SAPS into Medicare. That's what he's got written. He expounded on that to indicate including monies paid by Medicare back to, let's say, would-be entities that loaned the funds. Now, those are matters I think we will still engage on and debate on an argument with Ms. van die Heerfer. What I asked about and reminded Mr. Matlala about paragraph 2.3.4, it concerned itself only with the loan agreement, the terms of the loan agreement with Mr. Karim. If Ms. van die Heerfer wants to argue that because of the nature of other charges that I'm not aware of, that invoke PRECA and related legislation, that he should not be required to speak to such agreements, then I would invite in supplementation that that matter be dealt with in detail to specify the particular sections and the crimes for which Mr. Matlala is charged, in respect of which he concluded an agreement with any third party that is not an accused before court at this current moment.
I will do so, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
And, I would imagine this is still going to arise with regard to other issues that are still to come, and that is a function of the fact that the privilege is being asserted in very broad and generalized terms. So perhaps the solution should be not that we are not going to raise the issues. I'm not suggesting you should not ask the questions, Mr. Law. No, am I suggesting that my co-commissioners should not ask the questions? I'm just saying we are likely to encounter this a good few times until we are done with a statement, and perhaps the solution in respect of all is for us to get a clear substantiation of the full basis, its inner and outer contours of why the privilege is being asserted. it's only then that we will all be in a position to engage with the privilege as substantiated. But please continue.
Indeed, Chair, I'm in full agreement, and I think the purpose of this exercise was to understand the extent to which this privilege is being asserted. Is it in respect of anything that even is remotely related to the Medicare contract, whether or not it's the subject of any criminal charge or investigation? Because the line we seem to be holding thus far is any reference to anything in this where Medicare 24 contract is referred to is subject to Section 35. So I think it was necessary it is necessary for Mr. Matlala and I to understand one another and for him to appreciate that we need an understanding of when it is this right is asserted and the basis thereof in regard to the specific questions that are asked. So unfortunately, it's an exercise we're going to have to go through in respect of each, and he keeps undertaking that when he files his supplementary statement, he will address each question specifically in response where he asserts this right. Thank you, Chair. Then, Mr. Matlala, that leads us to your paragraph 2.3.5. We are now in the, not yours, paragraph 2.3.5 of the regulation 10.6, if you could turn your attention to that. That paragraph is a paragraph, page 4. That paragraph requested you to speak to your appearance at the ad hoc committee, that's a parliamentary ad hoc committee, and whether you were induced or threatened or influenced to give false evidence, including the details of anyone who may have induced or threatened you to give false testimony. When that happened, how and for what purpose was the false testimony requested of you? That is the request that was put to you. That's one of the issues you have not addressed in your statement. Are you able to indicate why that is?
Yeah, this is one of the things that will be in our supplementary affidavit.
Yeah, the first question was why it's not addressed in this statement.
Is because also of the recordings that I came across the recordings after I've made this affidavit. So in the recordings, there are people that are mentioned here which have been mentioned in the ad hoc committee. So I will do that in the supplementary affidavit.
Now, if I might just understand that answer. So the recordings have made reference to people who were referred to in the ad hoc committee, so you are not in a position to indicate whether you were in any way induced, threatened, or influenced to give false testimony. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I cannot comment on that now because I do not want to give. I do not want to end up incriminating myself by way of perjury. Hence, I'm saying I need to go back and make my supplementary affidavit in regard to of this 2.3.5.
So you, if I understand it correctly, and I might not, you don't know whether you were in any manner induced, threatened, or influenced to give false testimony. You don't know that.
Chairperson, again, he's invoking his right against self-incrimination on this point, and inherent in that, my learned friend can read where this issue is going. If you lie under oath, you commit perjury, as simple as that. The client has said, I invoke my right to self-incrimination, and I think that should at this point be the end of it. We will make a supplementary affidavit and deal with these issues so that you can exercise your discretion or deal with it on a legal basis, having the benefit of factual submissions made to you.
Chair, with respect, I think, if I may, this fear of self-incrimination has got limits in law and in life. The question is simple. Were you induced or threatened to give false information? That's all. It's not whether you did give false information, because only then does the issue of perjury arise. It's very simple. Were you induced, threatened, or influenced? No recording is going to answer that question for him. It's a factual issue that only he can speak to. And I don't see how the issue of self-incrimination arises in respect to whether or not he was a victim of influence, inducement, or threats. Thank you.
Chairperson, the moment you answer that as an example in the positive, a number of questions flow from there. So that is simply put my answer to that.
Like, you said a number of questions arise. I'm saying like.
Let's say you do admit that you were induced, because you need to look at the whole context of that question. Your appearance, whether you induced it or influence, give false evidence. The emphasis here is not your evidence as a whole. Everything that precedes the word false evidence relates to the word false evidence. Inherent in the issue of false evidence, because that evidence was given under oath, there's a presumption, or not a presumption, it's inferred here in this question that that evidence was false. Now the question is, were you, and we go to the preceding aspects thereof. The moment you answer this in any form or manner, it relates to the issue of the false evidence. And the client has said, I invoke my right to not incriminate myself on this issue. And to me, that is the end of it. We will make a supplementary affidavit, as he indicated, and deal with this issue in evidence. This is not where you induced to give any evidence there. This is specifically targeted at the word false evidence. Thank you, Chairperson.
In the interest of time, may we park this for the supplementary affidavit, please, Mr.
We could very well park it, but I would expect...
Unless you had other follow-up questions.
No.
But this specific one, let's just...
I wouldn't have had other follow-up questions, and I know that the question that the chair has posed, I'm none the wiser as to what could follow up to any answer given. Because if the answer is no, I was not influenced, that's where the matter dies. If the answer is yes, I will deal with the detail in my supplementary affidavit. That is a complete answer. But then I will take the chair's cue. It shall be dealt with in the supplementary statement. And I expect, and I think it's not unreasonable for us to expect, that to the direct question whether he was induced, threatened, or influenced to give false evidence will be answered directly as a yes or a no, before any other effect is dealt with in respect of 2.3.5. Thank you.
Let's just park it and let's see what will come out of the flash. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Sounds like we're kicking the can down the road, but we'll catch up with that can at some point. The next question then, Mr. Matlala, under paragraph 2.3, is to be found at page 5, at the top of page 5. And it required you to speak to the recording of your interrogation on December 2024 and 2025 by witness C or any other police officer who interrogated you after your arrest. You haven't dealt with it here, so for the record, I would like you to address yourself to that, whatever position you assume in respect thereto.
Chairperson, maybe at this point, based on this particular issue, it's one of the legal aspects that I intend to raise with you in due course. It's an issue that a client as a layperson cannot deal with. And it relates directly to the rights that you afforded under the Constitution once you're an accused or a suspect person, and you were then made or forced or coerced, whatever you want to call it, into making a statement. We intend to deal with this aspect more fully before you, both factually and legally, as to why we say this aspect needs to be dealt with on a legal basis. I can point out to you why we say this. You cannot deal with the greatest respect with this statement here for a large number of reasons. But I would suggest again, as I've said before, wait for the factual foundation and the issues that's contained in there, and then make a ruling on that aspect. As I said, I jump in here because it's not an issue that a layperson can deal with when it comes to your rights as an accused person, because it's common cause that at that point he was arrested. When he was interrogated for hours on end, I've addressed you on this issue.
Yeah, I think there must be a difference between an answer to the question, why did you not address 2.36? Because he didn't address it. We're talking about his affidavit, not your legal opinion on why it should not be addressed. The question is, you filed an answer that question. The witness is completely competent and must answer that question, why he did not address it. You can argue later on, but what you're doing now is you're giving answers that the witness should give, and that's improper. It's improper. That's what you have just done now. And I would urge that you allow the witness to speak to answer a factual question. It's a fact. This can only be a factual answer to the question, why did you not answer? If he wants to say, because my lawyer advised me not to, or speak to my lawyer, that's his answer to the question. Then we know why he did not answer it. But what you've just done now is improper. You're answering questions and you can't argue past it. You're answering questions on behalf of a witness, and that's improper.
Commissioner, you've now 3 times said that I acted improper. The intention was not to act improper. The intention was to bring to your attention that this is an issue that's got a legal basis in it. But I understand what you're saying, and the witness can answer the question.
Well, you've answered it already. Ms. Silo, do you want to ask the question again? Maybe you'll say it differently.
I think it's pointless asking the question again. If Mr. Matlala is an attentive listener, he would know what to say. And I agree with you, Commissioner Baloyi, because I think Mr. Matlala, we should remind ourselves that Mr. Matlala says at his paragraph 4, and I quote, "Where I make submissions of law, I do so on the advice of my legal representatives, which advice I verily believe to be correct." And that's what always happens in the drafting of affidavits. The witness will speak to matters of law on the advice of his legal representatives. And in this instance, Mr. Matlala has warned us that that is possible and he may do so. And this is one such occasion. If a proper response to the question at 2.3.6 includes issues of law that he must traverse, he will do so in the statement, and we know that he does so not because he's a lawyer or claiming to understand matters of law, but that he's acting on the advice given to him by his legal counsel. So it really would just be go through the motions to repose the question. So if I may, with your leave, if I may pose a different question. Mr. Matlala, are you able to, in your supplementary, deal with your failure to answer the question at 2.3.6, you first tell the commissioners why you didn't deal with it in this statement, and then to respond thereto as required. And thirdly, you may invoke whatever or assert any right you have in respect to issues reflected at 2.3.6.
Let me do it differently. Let's ask for an answer from Mr. Matlala. Why did you not deal with this question?
Why did I do what?
Why did you not deal with the question at 2.3.6 at page 5 of the notice?
Yes, it's because these are some of the things that I'm disputing. So I actually was supposed to at least say in my first affidavit that I'm disputing the legality and the authenticity of these recordings. So I didn't address it now because I was preparing to dispute it on a later stage.
But for example, with regard to those issues in respect of which you are raising the privilege that you've been asserting, you have told us that you are not responding to these questions because you are asserting that privilege.
Yes.
So I don't follow what you are saying, because here you've chosen to keep silent, which is why the question is being asked. Why were you silent about it? Because with others, you have said something, even though you are not going to be answering the question directly, you have said something which is, for example, to assert your privilege. So the silence is strange with regard to this one, just like the others that Ms. Silo took you through. So why did you not answer it?
Yeah, Chairperson, I will say it's because I was not going to invoke my right to self-incrimination. I was going to dispute the recordings. So maybe I should have said that I was supposed to, I'm going to dispute them, not saying anything at all. But I was not going to say I do not want to comment because of self-incrimination. I'm disputing them at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Noted. Then the basis on...
Of course, I did not ask that direct question to take us away from the point made by Ms. Cirillo right at the end, which was that the issue of your exercise of the privilege should be addressed in the supplementary affidavit, because that is what your counsel, Ms. van den Heever, says is an issue being raised, even in respect of 2.3.6. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you, Chair. I think we have addressed issues arising from paragraph 2.3 of the notice as served on you. I'm back to your statement at page 14, and I see after dealing with the question posed to paragraph 2.3.4, you then skip from paragraph 18 to the question posed at paragraph 2.5.1. You confirm that? If you look at page 14, you see your paragraph 17 deals with what was asked of you at paragraph 2.3.4.
Yes, I see that.
Then it is followed at paragraph 18 with what's asked of you in paragraph 2.5.1 of the notice.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we go to the notice, I realize that there was another question at 2.4, paragraph 2.4. And this asked you to comment on the nature and extent of your relationship with the EMPD, that's Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, including individuals employed therein, including agreements, in brackets, actual or negotiated, with individuals within the EMPD, donation of vehicles and installation and use of vehicles fitted with blue lights. In particular, who was involved, what the plan was, and what became of the plan, and ultimately the use of vehicles fitted with blue lights and the use of peace officer cards. You have not dealt at all in your statement with paragraph 2, what's required at paragraph 2.4. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, there is a reason. I was supposed to also claim my privilege of self-incrimination because there are people who are already charged, and I'm also being mentioned as a suspect, and even my family member is being interviewed. There's a statement that already has been supplied to the law enforcement in regards to the EMPD blue lights and peace officer cards.
It's difficult to understand that answer for reasons similar to those that I stated when I last engaged you, which is a few minutes back. You have countless times, I don't know how many times, asserted your privilege against self-incrimination. Why, in respect of other questions, you choose to be silent instead of also asserting that privilege escapes me. So that's why I say it's difficult to accept that to be the answer, or to accept that as an answer. You want to comment?
Chairperson, I'm working on the affidavit that was drafted by my attorney. I was just being interviewed, and I gave my attorney my view of the questions. So why some of them were not included here, I cannot answer, but because I'm the one who signed this affidavit, because meaning that I acknowledge everything that is in the affidavit. But I will say because of the circumstances that I find myself in now, some of the things, they just keep my mind. I do not know why this thing was not part of it, because actually it was supposed also to be here and claim my privilege to self-incrimination.
Thank you, Chair. I see it's quite a wide and expansive question. And on the one hand, it speaks of your general relationship with EMPD, of your relationship and extent thereof with any individuals employed in EMPD. agreements concluded with individuals within EMPD, and all this is before the blue lights. So then it goes further to speak to donations, any donations of vehicles. Again, it doesn't say anything about blue lights. Blue lights only appears thereafter, installation and use of vehicles fitted with blue lights. So I'm not sure when you say you are asserting a right, are you asserting a right not to self-incriminate if you testify about relationships you have with any members of EMPD? What self-incrimination could potentially arise from that?
If you can go back, Commissioner, I've mentioned about my involvement with the former Mayor Tanya Campbell of the State of the City address. I did not add it again here because I already touched on it. So the following questions, it was about the blue lights and individuals that I might know, which obviously is one that I know from EMPD. So hence I'm saying the affidavit itself was not drafted by myself, but I'm responsible for it because I've signed for this affidavit. So I can answer that who I know in the EMPD, yes. But I cannot say, go further and speak about things that are already, people that are already charged, and then who, even myself, I might end up being a co-accused in this matter.
I can understand. You can speak about people who are charged. As long as the charges they face, you don't run the risk of being included in. But the fact that they are charged is neither here nor there. It doesn't stop. And there's nothing that stops you from speaking about them. And I think that is my challenge with how you dealt with paragraph 2.4. You concentrated on the latter part of that paragraph, which speaks to the blue lights. And then you invoke your right against self-incrimination, and you extend it to everything that is contained in 2.4. And from what you're saying now, if I understand you correctly, that's not what you intend to do. You intended to assert your right insofar as the issue of blue lights is concerned, and that there are people who are potentially facing charges in respect thereof, and that you are at risk also of being included therein. Am I understanding you correctly? And that's got nothing to do with the first part of the question. So you are able to answer those questions without asserting or without complaining that any of your constitutional rights are being infringed. So would it then be fair to say in your supplementary statement we can expect a response to that question, delineating exactly which aspect of 2.4 entitles you to assert your rights, your constitutional rights, and which aspects of 2.4 you are able to answer to? And then, of course, as is the case with the rest of the questions where you assert your rights, you extend a full basis for assertion of such a right. Would that be fair to conclude on that point?
I agree, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Can I just ask, you say you suspect, I think you use the language, you suspect you will be added as an accused. Have you been informed by any law enforcement person that you are a suspect relating to any of these issues that arise here?
What I know is I heard that my name has been mentioned, and also the Speaker of SAPS, after their court appearance, mentioned my name. So I do not know the extent of the investigation. So I do not know whether I will be added as an accused person or not.
Yes. So apart from your name was mentioned in the way that you say, you don't know that you are being treated at this point as a suspect because no one has come to you to speak to you?
I do not know that.
No one has come to speak to
Yes.
you about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Perhaps let's try to break it down, Ms. Olo. Do you have any relationship with the EMPD? If so, what is its nature?
The EMPD or EMPD official?
That's the second part. That's the second part. It says including individuals. So as part of me breaking this down, I thought I should just take EMPD. But if you want to deal with both, fine. So if you do have a relationship with EMPD officials, Do you have such relationship? What is its nature? So I chose to break it down by referring only to the EMPD, but maybe let me broaden it and say with the EMPD and or including its employees. If so, what's the nature of that relationship?
Not the EMPD, but the EMPD official, yes, I do have a relationship.
And what's the nature and who's the official or who are the officials?
It's only one official. His name is Julius Mukwanazi.
And what's the nature of that relationship?
I will say he's a friend.
Do you want to take it from there, Mr. Sildo?
If it is this, perhaps I will. Can you speak more about this friendship and to indicate the nature of this friendship and whether it involves his role as a commissioner within EMPD?
Can you please repeat that question?
You say you have a friendship with Commissioner Julius Mukwanazi of EMPD.
Yes,
You called him a friend.
yes.
And I'm inviting you to speak more about this friendship, and in so doing to indicate whether or not that friendship involves his role as a commissioner within EMPD.
Okay, I know Julius Mukwanazi through one of my business associates. So he's been coming to one of our clinics a lot, and then to a point where I ended up meeting him through one of my business associates.
And who is this business associate, if you may help us?
It's Mr. Mike van Wyk.
Please proceed. Please go ahead. You had said he's a friend, so I take it I accept you say that you were introduced to him by your business associate, Mr. van Wyk, but then from your earlier response, I take it then you subsequently establish a friendship.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this friendship?
More in which way, Commissioner?
In a
No,
way.
I want to understand.
Sorry, Mr. Matlala. I guess the point is, if you are introduced to someone, you don't just through being introduced become friends. How exactly did this unfold? How did you become friends? There's Mr. van Wyk, here's Deputy Commissioner Mukwanazi or Commissioner Mukwanazi, and there you are as well. Mr. Matlala, meet Mr. Julius Mukwanazi. So what Ms. Sildo, as I understand it, wants to know is, and then you've not reached the point where you are friends. All you've said is you were introduced.
Indeed, thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I've been introduced by Mike van Wyk, and I think because of the security business side, that's why we ended up being close. Because at that time is when there was I think Mike van Wyk told him about my security business and stuff, and then he at some point asked me if I can help them with they needed extra security backup for the state of the city address. So I did that, but it was not something which was a tender or there was no any financial gain. So I did that, yes. So, and going further, I will say, from time to time after that, now we will call each other now and then. So we end up being close because of now we call each other now and then we speak and then we meet. So I do not know how to actually elaborate this to, I don't know.
Okay, is it
The thing, sorry,
Please go ahead.
Chairperson, the thing is, I do not want to go to a point where now I end up going to the things which I know now he's been charged with. And then some of those things, I'm also, my name has also been mentioned. So I'm not just leaving some of why I am not going deep into the depth of our relationship, because some of the things, yes, I might say them, but unfortunately for now, I just want to know first what is happening with this criminal matter.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's where Ms. Silo wanted to push you. Point is, I've been introduced to countless people in my lifetime. Not all of them have become my friends. So all you had mentioned at the point Ms. Silo wanted you to go further was that you were introduced. So Ms. Silo wanted to get an idea of how you became friends. Not that, at least not at that point.
Indeed.
She was pushing you to get into any possible criminality. I'm not saying you were involved in any, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just mentioning it because you got to a point where you sought to assert the privilege. I'm just explaining.
Thanks, Chairperson.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I take it then in your supplementary statement, when you've had an opportunity to fully apply your mind to the question posed at paragraph 2.4 and the criminal case that you say Commissioner Mkhwanazi is currently a subject of, that you will be able to walk that tightrope and answer the question to the best of your abilities without, you say, attracting any criminal liability against yourself. So perhaps we'll get a better understanding, because I want to conclude on this point on the basis that now we understand you are friends with him, and friends are not acquaintances, and friends are people who have a relationship different from two people who have just been introduced. So you got introduced and you developed this relationship, which you would classify as a friendship. Is that a fair conclusion to make?
Yes.
And that it's a question, and I'm checking whether flowing from such friendship, your engagement with EMPD, I think you said, on providing security services to former Mayor Tanya Campbell, does your friendship have any bearing on the provision of those services, or it's a different issue completely?
We were not friends by then.
Sorry, I say that?
We didn't establish that friendship relationship by then.
At that time. Were there any engagements with EMPD involving you personally or any of the companies under your control, flowing from the friendship you developed with Commissioner Mkhwanazi?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Yes.
Were there any engagements you had with him as a friend that were intended to contractually bind the EMPD at all, or you didn't have that kind of engagement and discussion as friends?
That is a very tricky question, Commissioner.
Yes.
Because now it's taking me back to what I'm saying, that I do not want to get into that territory.
Okay, I guess it's something you can apply your mind to when you file that supplementary statement. I departed from the assumption that your response will be a no, which would put paid to everything, but I'll give you the opportunity to go consider it, and please address it in your supplementary to the extent that you are able to. If, however, you are not, then I would expect that you set out a basis for why you are not answering, and if you assert any particular right, that you articulate it in your response. I would appreciate that. Would that be a fair expectation on my part?
It's okay.
Thank you. Then, if we are the tail end, my proposal would be to,
That's the tail end of the questions, but the responses in the statement. And which paragraph are we at now?
we are now headed to paragraph 18 of the statement.
18, let me check.
And if the chair will have regard to the question at paragraph 2.5, we continue.
Let's finish the statement.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
The questions and the statement.
Indeed. Mr. Matlala, I hope you can bear with us. I'm suggesting that we rather work through part of the hour of the lunch and finish your statement so that we can release you early as well for today. So
It's okay.
if it's okay, thank you. We're at page 14, we are at your paragraph 18. And at paragraph 18, you are responding and following, you are responding to questions posed to you and paragraph 2.5 of the notice. And the notice at page 5, paragraph 2.5, required you to speak to the nature and extent of your relationship with listed individuals from subparagraph 2.5.1 to 2.5.9, and that you give detail regarding your communication with them. You see the question?
I do.
You begin your response there too at paragraph 18, and you say at paragraph 2.5.1, and at 2.5.1 is in regard to Mr. Jotham Msibi, the late. If you could then deal with your paragraph 18.
I place on record that one of my companies, CAT VIP, previously provided security services to the late Jotham Msibi. My relationship with him was that of rendering security services. Mr. Msibi was a taxi business owner who was regarded as one of the industry leaders and operated more than 200 taxis. It is standard practice that in the taxi industry that for owners of taxis, especially large fleet, to require close protection services. The very same services that I provided Mr. Msibi.
My apologies, Mr. Matlala. I think you are not as audible as perhaps we would hope you to be. It's brought to my attention.
Okay.
I do appreciate that you speak softly, so perhaps try and bring them closer,
yeah.
the microphones closer to you.
So should I repeat this?
I think that there's a general nod around the room. Yeah, just please quickly reread your paragraph 18 into the record. Thank you.
I place on record that one of my companies, CAT VIP, previously provided security services to the late Jotham Msibi. My relationship with him was that of rendering security services. Mr. Msibi was a taxi business owner who was regarded as one of the industry leaders and operated more than 200 taxis. It is standard practice in the taxi industry for owners and of taxis, especially large fleet, to require close protection services. The very same services that I provided Mr. Msibi.
Thank you for that. From paragraph 19, you deal with a different issue. I note how you describe your relationship with Mr. Msibi, and you say you rendered security services. Did you have a relationship other than provision of these security services with the late Mr. Msibi?
Relationship as a client?
So you had a relationship as a client. Any other?
Friendship, maybe?
He was a very old man. He was not my friend.
Like a son, perhaps, then?
Yeah, he used to call me son, but not because of I was his son, but
Yes.
that was his way of addressing me.
Other business relationships?
Yes, there was.
What?
Actually, we attempted to, we never had that business, but we attempted to have a business.
Did you have a personal relationship with him? By personal, I want to distinguish it from a relationship as a service provider. Did you develop a personal
Yes, I was
relationship
close with him, yes.
You're close?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. At paragraph 18, overleaf 19, sorry, overleaf. You then deal with a different person. You are responding to 2.5.2, and here you are requested to speak to the nature and extent of your relationship with Mr. Stephen Mutsumi. You deal with that at paragraph 19, so if you could read that.
I can confirm that I know Mr. Mutsumi and that I have done a commercial transaction with him wherein his company had lent me an advance, one of my companies, an amount of 5 million rands.
No, it's 5 million, right?
Yes, 5 million, yes.
When was this? When was this loan extended?
When was when?
When was this when you say he lent and advanced one of your companies an amount of 5 million?
I think it was 2024, the end of 2024.
And do you have, was this on a basis of a written agreement or just an oral agreement?
Yes, it's a written agreement.
A written agreement?
Yes.
Are you able to provide a copy?
Yes, I will.
And which, you say one of your businesses, which business was this?
It's Medicare.
Medicare?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you say you have done a commercial transaction where you say he had lent in advance, so the 5 million was duly paid over to Medicare.
Yes.
Thank you. Now
Can I just ask?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Is this the only kind of relationship that you've had with Mr. Mutsumi?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And in fact, that is where I was leading to, so you confirm that he's not your friend.
No.
Okay. Do you have any other personal relationship with him besides commercial transactions?
No, I don't have.
How did you come to ask for a loan from him?
Why or how?
How?
I called him and asked for money.
Sorry?
I called him and I asked for money.
No. I'm not asking by what means, Mr. Matlala. For example, I would not call Mr. Mutsumi and say, please loan me or my company 5 million rand. So you're not answering my question. I'm not asking by what means, which is by means of a telephone call to him. That's not what I'm asking.
For me, Chairperson, to answer that question, I think if you say why I ask the money, then I will be able to answer. But how, I don't understand.
The why is probably so as to get money from him for whatever purpose.
Yes.
But why him? How did you come to choose him to get a loan from him? So I'm still asking how. And I'm insisting on an answer, please.
He's a businessman, and then I know that.
Did you know him? Did you know him before?
Yes.
How did you know him?
Through Mr. Msibi.
So you approached him because you happen to know him?
Yes, I know him, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer mean that you socially knew him, you interacted with him?
Yes, I did.
Before you asked him for a loan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
As a matter of interest now, seeing as you are not that close to him, you socially interacted with him, and as the chair asks, because I'm sure if I were to approach him for a 5 million rand loan, he's unlikely to grant me. My question is, did you have to put up a security for that loan?
No,
Or
I didn't.
he took you on your word and it was by faith?
Yes.
So you didn't secure that, he didn't secure that loan at all, repayment of that loan?
No.
He trusted you that you will repay it?
Yes, and I did.
Okay.
And CAT VIP services did not provide any security services to him or any of his business entities.
He also has a security company.
He also has a security company.
yes.
So is that how you know him, that he's in the security business?
No, I know him because of he used to visit Mr. Msibi a lot. Him and Mr. Msibi were very close friends.
And you came to know him because at one point you were all at Mr. Msivi's place?
Yes, more than one occasion, yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Right, can I just ask a question whose answer may be obvious, but let me ask anyway. This loan that you approach him for and he gives you, was this after you had been awarded the Medicare? Before or after you'd been awarded the Medicare contract?
It's before.
It was before it was awarded. So the decision hadn't been made yet and you hadn't been told that you're successful.
It was not for the Medicare contract.
Okay. It was for another business, not
Yes.
Medicare.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
But Mr. Matlala, you said it was 5 million towards the end of 2024. If the Medicare contract was awarded in June 2024, then it must be after.
No, it's before. Maybe I'm confusing the dates, but I know for sure it's before.
So it was early 2024, not late 2024.
Yes, maybe, but it was before. That I know for sure.
And that can be resolved immediately by the loan agreement that you say it's written.
Or even with the bank transactions.
The transactions
bank
themselves.
statements, yes.
You have, and I take it then in response, in your supplementary statement in dealing with 2.5.2, you attach here to as an extra, whatever, that loan agreement. You have indicated you're in a position to provide us with that loan agreement.
Yes, I will.
Yes, so I'm suggesting that it be an annexure to the part in the supplementary affidavit where you are dealing with this loan.
Okay.
Thank you. Then if we move on to paragraph 2.5.3, this one required you to once again comment and speak to your relationship with Mr. Mike van Wyk. You deal with that at your paragraph 20.
My relationship with Mike van Wyk is a subject of the matter that is pending before court, and as such, I'm unable to comment on this question. I do not wish to incriminate myself, as Mike was a CEO of my company, Medicare, the very same company that had a contract with SAPS. I therefore claim my right to not incriminate myself.
Just to check my understanding, as CEO of Medicare 2420,
Yes.
that is the company that was awarded the contract, that concluded the SAPS contract.
Yes, that's true.
I'm correct that Mr. van Wyk is not one of the accused in that matter. He's not charged.
He's a state witness.
He's a state witness.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you say, do you have a relationship with Mr. van Wyk other than as a CEO of Medicare? And I ask this question because of how you start your paragraph 20. You say, my relationship with Mr. van Wyk is a subject of the matter that is pending before court. So if your relationship is in his capacity as CEO, that I would take it doesn't suggest you are friends, but your friendship, if any, with Mr. van Wyk is not a subject of that criminal case. I don't know if I'm making sense. Would you agree with me?
Can you please clarify?
I'm trying to understand which relationship of yours with Mr. van Wyk is a subject of a matter that is pending in court. I say to you, I can appreciate that if, as a CEO, you were the chairman of Medicare 24, of the board, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
So that relationship, I can understand how it becomes part of the criminal case pending before court. But if you were also personal friends, are you suggesting that even that particular relationship is also part of the criminal case? Is the subject of the criminal case?
No, it cannot be.
Yes. So what other relationship besides him being a CEO did you have with him?
He was never my friend. It was a business-related relationship.
Now, outside of Medicare 24, did you have any other dealings with him on a business level?
Yes, I did.
What businesses did you have in common?
Security, because he also have a security company.
What was his security? Let's start with you. Yours was VIP?
Yes.
Security. And what was his business dealings?
The name of
In the security sector, sorry.
Are you asking the name of his company?
Yes,
Anubis.
Anubis. Was there any formal relationship between Cat VIP and Anubis, or was the relationship between the two of you as the heads of the respective entities?
No, but myself as not the company myself. Before I used to use his company for protection services for myself.
Okay. Did the two companies, your company and Anubis, have any joint commercial activity?
No, we never had any joint commercial activity.
Okay.
That was before my company was, I would say, fully established. So I was using his company for my own personal protection.
And if we regard his head to the company, the Cat Protection and Security trading as Cat VIP, it bears a registration number of 2017, but I accept you could have
Yes.
potentially bought a shelf company. So my question is, when did that company be registered in your name, that Cat VIP?
I will just say it from the top of my head. I can't quite remember. Maybe 2019, 2020.
2019, 2020.
Maybe,
I'll take that.
yeah, somewhere there, yeah.
Okay. And in any event, these are matters that can be clarified by the CIPC and, a search of the CIPC. And as things stand, you said he was never your friend and he remains not your friend.
No, he was not a friend, but I was very close, but I will not say a friend, but someone that I was close to, because we see each other every day and then we're in business.
And besides business, did you have any other relationship, I'd asked? I know he's not your friend, Is there any other relationship besides business that you maintained?
The relationship, I think maybe if you can try to help me understand what kind of relationship are you referring to?
No, it maybe you have interests outside the security association that you have spoken of, outside Medicare. He could be an enthusiast in the same sports or things that you enjoy, that you participate together in. And I'm mentioning these relationships that would fall short of being a friend, a personal friend. But it's an acquaintance that you socialize with, you spend a lot of social, out of professional space, time with. Is it that kind of person? And I keep saying general because I don't want to confine you to a particular kind of relationship. I was hoping you'd be able to describe the nature of the relationship. Beyond Anubis and VIP, Cat VIP.
I will say also a neighbor because we stay in the same estate.
Yes.
And then for me to end up being close, knowing him, I think he is because of he loves sports cars, or he used to come to my house with his son to just have a look at my cars or drive around in. So he used. I don't know how to explain that.
Okay. I think I get a sense. So there was life beyond association via your respective companies.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm ready to move to your paragraph 21, which asked you to speak of your relationship with Mr. 2.5.4, with Mr. Ignatius Mtakati. You deal with that at paragraph 21? If you could read that.
I do not have any relationship with Mr. Ignatius Mtakati and have never had any dealings with him.
I see you specify you don't have any relationships with him. Is it somebody you know?
Yes, I know him.
Okay. And are you able to shed light on what you know him to be and who you know him to be?
I know him because he's also a friend of Mr. Msibe.
Okay. Then we continue then with your paragraph 22. You are dealing with what's requested at paragraph 2.5.5. And here you are requested to speak to your relationship with Mr. Andrew Boy Mtetwa. You deal with that at paragraph 22?
I do not have any relationship with Mr. Andrew Boy Mtetwa and have never had any dealings with him.
And then similarly, as with the previous question, is this somebody you know, though? And if so, how do you get to know him?
He's also a friend to the late Mr. Msibi.
Okay. But he's not somebody you struck a friendship or relationship with individually,
I don't.
separately. That takes us then to your paragraph 20.
Does that mean, in respect of both, that it's people that you have met? You don't
Yes.
have a relationship with them, but you have met them?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you know who this person is?
Yes, I know them, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are now at your paragraph 23, Mr. Matlala. There you are responding to the issue raised at paragraph 2.5.6 of the notice. And similarly, there you are requested to comment and speak of your relationship, if any, with Mr. Katiso Molefe. You deal with that at paragraph 23.
I do not have any relationship with Mr. Katiso Molefe and have never had any dealings with him.
Is it somebody you have met, and if so, under what circumstances?
He's also a friend to the late Mr. Msibi.
Now, for the three, Mr. Mtakati, Mr. Mtetwa, Mr. Molefe, you indicate that they were friends of Mr. Msibi.
Yes.
Should we understand from that that you met them at Mr. Msibi's premises, home, residence?
Yes, that's
Would that-
correct. That's correct.
Oh, that's correct, okay.
Where is that?
He's
Or is it the place that Sergeant Ngosi described as the farm? I
Yes.
don't want you to give the location.
yeah,
because-
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioner. That then takes us to your paragraph 24. And at paragraph 24, you are responding to the question posed at 2.5.7, and here you were requested to speak to your relationship, if any, to Mr. Brown Mokhotsi. You deal with that at page 24, starting at paragraph 16.
I can confirm that I came to know of Mr. Brown Mokhotsi when he called me at the time that the SAPS had raided my house. Prior to this incident, I had no dealings with Brown Mokhotsi. Brown Mokhotsi impersonated to me that he was from the office of the Minister of Police, and it will appear that he was using this strategy to entice me into giving him financial assistance.
Now, then you say prior to this incident, you had no dealings with Mr. Brown Mokhotsi. I'm reading your second sentence. Did you know him prior to him making this call to you?
No,
So with that statement that you had no prior dealings with him, it includes the fact that you didn't know him.
yes, I've never, yes,
You had never met him before.
no,
You had never had any communication with him.
no.
Now, the raid at your house, if I understand it correctly, was the 6th of December 2024.
Yes,
So that is the operative date. And you indicate here that he called you at the time that SEPS raided your house.
not the day. I think I'll say the raid was on Friday, I remember.
Yes.
He called me, I think, on Sunday, 2 days
Okay.
after, yes.
So when you say at the time, you mean within a period around the date
Yeah,
of the raid
yes.
itself. And this, you are receiving a call code from somebody you don't know, you've never heard of before?
Yes.
And is there anything specific about this call that you think might be of relevance to the Commission? Why are you putting it as a marker for a time frame?
Yes, he called and then he said to me, he's calling from the office of the minister,
Okay.
and then he's here to help me to open the case against the police.
Okay.
So I will say this, let me just go back and say why was he saying this? Because the following day, on Saturday after the raid, I was not sure whether those people are the police or not because they were wearing balaclavas. And then they took my cell phones and my company firearms and my personal firearm. So I thought I was robbed. So I went to the police station the following day. And then I wanted to open a case. So when I was busy giving the police the statement, and I think by the time they were supposed to register the case or something, they just realized that no, these were actually real police because those firearms, if they were taken by thieves, they were not going to book them in the what is it called, the SAP 13 in the police station. So by then now I knew that those were police because of they booked in my firearms, but still they did not register my case.
Okay.
So it was on Saturday when I went to open a case the following morning. So on Sunday, Commissioner, you know, some of the things that I wouldn't want to comment on them because it's things that I say I will feel like I will incriminate myself. But let me not I want to proceed with this testimony, but let me not please not mention some of the things. Maybe in my supplementary affidavit, I don't know how we will deal with it. But let me just proceed, and then you will tell me where you need clarity, and then we can take it from there.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. On Sunday, when he called me, he said he wants to help me in regards with opening a case against the police. And then I was interested because I wanted to open a case of harassment. And then that's when I got to know of him. And then especially when he said he's from the Minister of the Police. And then because I know that there by the police station, they refused to open a case against the police, then he was willing to assist. So I think when they came for the second time for the raid, he asked money from me. He said he wants to bring experts from the police to do the investigation to find out who are these people who came to my house. But by then he wanted money. And then, yes, I gave him that money. I think it was 20,000, I think. He said we must book accommodation for those investigators. So that's when he started to raise a red flag for me that why would the police need money to do an investigation? But anyway, I gave him the money. And then when the police now came to my office, raided my office, and went back to my house looking for me because they were supposed to charge me because I was not supposed to have a spare key of my office where I keep my firearms, which I did not know that is unlawful. So they said they wanted to arrest me for that thing. So they came to my house to arrest me for that. So, but I was not at home. So on my way to my house, I found out that the police are there already. My wife called me when I was on my way home, said the police are here, they're looking for you. But what worried me is the police were wearing balaclavas again, but I'm supposed to be charged for a case of having a spare key of your own safe. So I had my own suspicions that something must be wrong here. They will just send a normal investigators, maybe with police in uniform, but not people with rifles and balaclavas for a spare key. So that's when now I got engaged with Brown a lot, Mkhotsi a lot. And then he said to me, yes, he will help, and then to get to the bottom of this and find out who are these people actually. But at some point, I got a call from a person who was very close to the former minister. And he said, the former minister of police. And he said to me, listen, because that thing now was in the media. I've already opened, by then I've already, what is it called? That agent interdict, the High Court interdict, agent application. I've already done that to stop harassment, and it's already even in the media. So this guy called me and said, listen, I see you're having problems here. Come to KZN, then I have someone who will help you with this problem. Then that's when I got to know the former minister of police, Mr. Bekitele. So when I got to Mr. Bekitele, I'm still on Baron Mokhozi anyway, not, but I want to give you the context of when I was with Mr. Bekitele, I showed him that, listen, this guy, I showed him my communication with him. He claims that he's from the Minister of Police, but he wants money from me, and then he also says that I was helped them with the, what is it called? There's this function that ANC holds every year in January. I don't know what is it called. So, but he wanted money for that also. So, and then that's when the former Minister of Police said to me, you know what? Continue giving this guy money. Maybe if you do that, and then he will lead us to, because he's saying that he's close with the Minister of Police. And then what they're doing, asking for money, is something that is unlawful. Maybe if we can get to the bottom of this. So that's when I kept on sending Brown Mokhozi money. So I paid also 150,000 to his account for that January 8th celebration of the ANC.
Now, I just want to retrace our steps a bit. You say he called you and he offered to help you open a case. Did he say how he came to know you had been raided?
Did he say
what did he say was the purpose of his call?
To help me to open a case.
Following the raid on your house?
Yes.
Did he say how he got to know that fact, that your house was raided?
Hence, I think earlier I just mentioned that I know how now, but then I did not know.
Okay, how now?
So I'm saying the names of the people who I don't want to mention those names.
Okay.
Of how did he end up knowing me? Because it's part of the people who are under investigation and myself, so I do not want to go there.
So, are these members of SAPS or are these civilians? No, there are 62 million people at least in this country. You are safe if you say civilians. No one can take an educated guess.
One is a civilian, yes, and one is a member of SAPS.
Okay. Now, are these names you are willing to disclose confidentially to the Commission in your supplementary statement?
Yeah, they will be disclosed in my supplementary.
Okay. Now, most importantly, you are a businessman at that time. You've just been raided by people you say you were not sure were even police because you were worried. You were not sure whether police were raided your home or whether you had been robbed. You had that concern with you. Why did you accept an offer of help from somebody you don't know the first thing about? Why didn't you suspect that there's something fishy? Why should somebody come out of the blue to help me go open a case on a raid I have just experienced? I ask this to say, perhaps, I don't know, he must have said something to you that made you confident to conclude that you are dealing with a legitimate person. And if he did, what that something could potentially be? What could he have said to you?
What he said to me is, he's from the office of the minister.
Yes.
And then by that time, out of frustration, I didn't even think that far, that how did he end up?
Okay.
By now, like I said, I know.
Okay. Did he ever help you with
No,
the
no,
opening?
no.
Okay. Now, I am aware that you say you only got to know of him after around the time of the raid of your house. We know that is the 6th of December. Did you subsequently develop a relationship with him, whether as a friend or?
After he asked money, I knew this guy is not what he says he is, so I didn't have any relationship with him.
You didn't have any relationship with him?
No.
You say for January 8, you paid 150,000.
Yes.
Why would you do that? What would you be getting in return for that?
It was because of the advice from the former minister, Begicele.
What would have been the purpose of paying 150,000? What did Mr. Cele say to you would be the purpose of paying 150,000?
To make him not doubt that I no longer trust him. Maybe he will end up leading us to.
Okay.
Sorry?
Oh, no, I was following you.
Yes,
Please go
yes.
ahead.
No, I'm saying it's because not to give him any suspicion that I no longer trust him.
Okay. So did you give any more?
No.
Give him any more?
No.
Chairperson, I'd just like the witness to finish the answer where he said it was to lead him to. If you can just complete that portion.
No, absolutely. I apologize if I interrupted you. So let's take a step back. And it sounds like that there's an answer I might have interrupted and it's incomplete.
Yes, because he said he was from the Minister of the Police.
Yes.
And then the former Minister of Police, the other, Mr. Begicele, he said that giving him money, because he strongly believed that this guy, he is working with the minister of the current minister then he thought by giving him money, I will end up getting close to them, to him and the former minister. The other former minister, let me just mention that because there's two ministers. I'm talking about Mr. Mkhunu. Yes, Brown said, Mr. Taylor said that maybe he will lead us to Mr. Mkhunu.
Okay.
Can I just ask so the raid is on the 6th of December, if I recall, in
Yes.
2024. This was for the January 2025 ANC celebration.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Which is the 8th of January.
Yes.
So within that month, you gave him this 150,000.
Yes.
Okay. Two, when...
Sorry, and I also paid for the flight tickets. I didn't mention that.
Okay, so you paid more than 150,000 in that month. And then two, when you say that former Minister Cele said to you, give him the money, now that he's asking, give him the money, then maybe it will lead us to the minister. To what? What exactly were you discussing that he will lead you to discover? Exactly.
This is according to Mr. Cele. He said to me, Mr. Senzo wants to fire General Khumalo and hire General and replace him with General Khan to that position of crime intelligence. So, and then, yes, he said, yeah, that's what I can remember on top of my head.
That he was hoping it would lead you to that
But,
plan.
Commissioner, I will do this, so I will just, because I'll make a supplementary affidavit, so I will just have to put it in details, even this statement, so that I
No,
can...
that's fine.
give it-
I'm
yes.
happy that you deal with it further in your supplementary. Thank you.
Did you ever get to meet Mr. Brown Mokgotsi? Because in your statement you mentioned the phone calls. Did you ever get to meet him and under what circumstances?
Yes, I met him.
When and under what circumstances?
After the first call that he made, after the call, I met him in Sheraton Hotel next to the Union Buildings,
Yes.
discussing that he will investigate these things from the minister's office. He even made a call in front of me, pretending to call the minister, or whether it was the minister, that I cannot confirm. So yes, I will say I met him.
Was it once?
I also met him in the other hotel in Johannesburg. I met him twice, the hotel in Johannesburg, the Houghton Hotel.
Did he assist you to open a case against the police?
He actually tried because he connected me with some, I just forgot the name, in somewhere in Soweto, in Pretoria.
Protea
North. But that case was never registered.
Was he there when you went to
He was
Protea
not
in
there.
Soweto?
He was not there.
He just connected you with
Yes.
somebody who was there?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I may just follow up on that, who did he connect you with at Protea police station to open a case?
I don't know his name. But what I know, he said that guy, he was from crime intelligence, but I don't know his name.
Did he appreciate or did he advise on the nature of a case you must open?
Can you please repeat that?
Did he advise on what kind of case you must open at Protea, or did he appreciate from your perspective what case you wanted to open? I mean, I'm trying to understand the extent of your
Yes,
conversation.
I wanted to open a case of harassment. Yeah.
And he understood that you wanted to open a
Yes,
harassment case. You had
yes.
told him. Okay.
Sorry, Commissioner, because I think I'm leaving other facts behind.
Yes.
Because you'll end up asking me about why didn't you say this, so I don't know whether I need to go back or whenever you...
No, please. This is your moment. Go ahead.
Okay. Because on the second raid, when they came to my house looking for the spare key of the house, he's the one also who said I must open a case in IPID.
Okay.
Yes, and then also the way he was pushing me to open a case in IPID, I figured that this guy and whoever is working with, they are really fighting with these people from the PKTT. And I'm being used as a tool to fight that unit.
And did you then follow up with laying a charge with IPID?
No, I sent him a message. I said to him, because he said my wife was assaulted and then I must, but in IP they wanted J88. I said to him, no, my wife does not want to do that. So then I did not do it anyway.
Your wife doesn't want to file a J88, or you
She
are saying your
refused.
wife saying she's not assaulted, which is which?
Say that again?
Is the point that your wife didn't because she wasn't assaulted and therefore did not want to file a J88, or that she just did not want to start this process of completing and filing a J88?
She was not assaulted, but she was, I'll say she was assaulted, but not, they were poking her with a rifle on her shoulder.
Yes.
So here she had bruises here.
Okay.
In law, that would be an assault.
Yes.
And that was in the second or first raid?
The second one.
Okay. But you didn't end up opening that case of assault?
I didn't open it because, Commissioner, like I said, I have realized that the person who's helping me, but it looked like I was the one who was helping him actually, because he was pushing it more than I wanted to. So I did not do it.
Did you get an understanding of what you could have been helping him with?
That was something which I did not understand by then.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you currently maintain a relationship with Mr. Mokgotsi? If not, when did it terminate, and what was the basis?
No, I don't have. I actually hate him.
Why, if I may inquire, as a matter of
He
interest?
caused a lot of problems for me.
Yeah. When did this relationship end, as far as you're concerned?
After my arrest?
The 2025 arrest?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been in, because the notice required any communication you may have had with any of these individuals identified. Have you had direct communication with Mr. Mokgotsi before you were arrested, but after you no longer liked him as much?
Yes.
When did your, I want to understand, when did your communication terminate, if it did, and not by reason of your
I
arrest?
did not terminate him. I did not terminate the relationship, but
Yeah.
he was not. We were not the best of buddies because of what he was doing. I knew what he was doing, but because of what Mr. Taylor said, I just kept him close. So, to a day when I eventually got arrested.
So you eventually got to appreciate what, in fact, Mr. Mokgotsi was doing.
Of course, yes.
And what was he doing?
It's two things here which I cannot be 100% sure. It's either he was using the minister's name, Mr. Senzo Mkunu's name, to swindle money from me,
Yeah.
or he was working with him, but still he was asking money also on the side. So even today, I cannot be 100% sure whether he was working with him.
Okay.
But I know that he was using his name to ask money from me.
Okay.
Can I just get
Yes,
clarity on this? Other than him saying he will help you open cases against the police for the raid at your house, 6 December 2024, and the raid at your offices that ended up at your house, what did he say you were going to get in return for helping him? What was in it for you?
For
other
helping,
than-
for helping him.
For helping him, yeah. So other than the issue of him helping you open the 2 cases, what did he say was the benefit for you giving him money?
No, the benefit was not for me, it was for him. There was nothing I will benefit from him.
So you were giving him money without expecting anything in return?
I was giving him money because of what Mr. Kele suggested.
So that was the only reason?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did the first one you gave 5,000, now it's 150,000, and air flights, all in a space of a month. Did Mr. Kele give an indication of how you string him along? I don't know. In my book, 150,000 for somebody you've known just for a month is rather steep, unless it's in your world it's different.
So the question is, you're saying, did Mr. Kele indicate how?
Yes, how much you should invest in this stringing Mr.
No,
Mokgotsi
that
along.
150,000 was the last one.
Yeah, but I'm commenting about, this is a month after you knew him and already you were plowing 150,000. You were comfortable with that?
Yes.
And if you're thinking, so I understand, if you were successful in your efforts, what would you have received in return to justify 150,000 rand investment?
Not myself.
Yes.
Mr. Kele was the one who was going to, if
Okay.
it was successful, it was Mr. Kele, not myself.
So Mr. Kele persuaded you to invest your money so that Mr. Kele can benefit. Is that, am I getting it right?
Yes.
Why would you invest your money for Mr. Kele to benefit?
I will say he also helped me to, because I explained to him the situation, that yes, I've made the agent court application against this police, but this guy was pressuring me to do it. And then anyway, he said, no, if you withdraw this application, and then I will talk to the guys, and then you will even get your weapons back. And that thing really did happen.
Okay.
So after that, I was fine with, I did not, anyway, I was not fighting with them, so I do not know what was happening by then. So.
Okay. So he had assisted you previously, so
Yes.
you, okay. All right. Your numbering of paragraphs sort of went slightly awry here at page 16. The last we were dealing with was paragraph 24. At page 16, you are now dealing, you're now responding to paragraph 2.5.8 of the notice, but it's an unnumbered paragraph. Do you see where I am?
I can see it.
And you say add paragraph 2.5.8, and that paragraph in the notice required you to speak to your relationship with Mr. Maumela, and you deal with that in that paragraph. I guess we could number it 25 if we are to follow, but it's currently unnumbered. If you could read then that paragraph into the record.
Angwani Morgan Maumela is my friend and a person who I have previously conducted business with. At a point in time, he was the director of CAT VIP protection. I placed on record that I got to know Morgan between the year 2016 and 2017.
Okay. So you say you have previously conducted business with him. Are you able to speak to the nature of the businesses you conducted with him?
He was the director of my company, and then the other thing is matters also which are under investigation by the SIU.
So, sorry, I missed that. Please say that again.
I'm saying he was at some point a director of my company,
Yes.
VIP Protection, and then the business that I'm referring to is something that I cannot speak about now because of self-incrimination, because the matter is under investigation by the SIU.
So this is one of the matters that then when you expound on this point, you'll give more detail on, and then you will assert whatever right you believe you have in law, and then you, as with the rest, you advance the basis for why you believe that you are entitled to
Yes,
assert
sir.
such a right. Okay.
Yes, I will.
Then the next paragraph, and again it's unnumbered, we could pencil it in as 26. This is in response to...
Sorry, Ms.
yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Ms. Sula, maybe just to finish off. So these are the only two business transactions that you've been involved with, Mr. Maumela?
Yes.
Just these two? Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Commissioner. And now, we move on still at page 16. Once again, we're dealing with an unnumbered paragraph. I propose we scribble it in as paragraph 26. This is in response to paragraph 2.5.9, and once again here you are asked to speak to your relationship with now Mr. Suleiman Karim. And under the heading at paragraph 2.5.9, you deal with that. Do you mind reading that into the record?
I confirm that I know Suleiman Karim. I previously approached Mr. Karim to request for funding for my company, Medicare 2420. As already alluded to above, I have since been charged with respect to the Medicare subtender, and as such, I do not wish to comment further on the nature of the relationship with Mr. Karim beyond confirmation that a funding agreement was concluded, a company belonging to Mr. Karim. I'm aware that there are ongoing investigations on the Medicare subs contract, particularly a financial investigation on the flow of funds from the said contract, and therefore I am of the view that any further comments beyond that which I have provided may lead to self-incrimination.
On this score, you reference a funding agreement concluded with a company belonging to Mr. Karim. What company is that? Which of his companies?
It's Tamiz or something. Just Tamiz.
Tamiz. Okay. Now, when was this about timeline?
July, August 2024.
2022.
2024.
Oh, okay. Now, was that agreement given effect to, that funding agreement, in a sense that was the funding extended by his company to you?
Yes, it was.
And how much, what's the amount of the loan?
It's 15 million.
Come again?
15 million rands.
15 million. And you say that you concluded in a funding agreement with a company belonging to him. Was it you personally, or was it one of your companies with this, you say it's Tamiz, a company belonging to Mr. Karim? Who is the other contracting party in this?
No, it was me and him.
You personally?
Yes.
Okay. And what bearing does this funding agreement have on the Medicare contract, if any? Because I see you are invoking once again a right not against self-incrimination.
Yes.
So if I could perhaps understand what bearing does it have on...
Unfortunately, I couldn't go into the details of
Okay.
the...
Now, you are able to furnish us equally with a copy of this agreement so that we can have an appreciation of how you extend its terms to the Medicare contract?
The agreement was done orally.
Or this one was an oral agreement?
I do, however, have, but it's an unsigned agreement.
Okay, but then I understand from what you're saying that he eventually, the loan of 15 million was eventually extended on the basis of an oral agreement and a gentleman's handshake. Is that a fair assessment?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Now, you say you know Mr. Suleiman Karim. Is he a friend of yours?
Who?
You say you know him, Mr. Suleiman Karim.
Suleiman,
He's a
yes.
friend of yours.
I not a friend. I know him through his security business also.
And remember, I was quite surprised earlier. I think I'm quite jealous of the friendships that you have. You get 5 million without security. Now you're getting 15 million from somebody you know, close to you, with not even a written agreement in place. Why would he trust you with that amount of money? You say he's not your friend?
I don't know. That I can't answer for him.
Okay.
I can't.
On what basis did you expect him to trust you when he's not your friend?
I think
Chairperson, again, the witness has said he's confirmed there was an agreement. He said this agreement goes into charges that he's currently faced. It's being investigated and it's part of the Medicare agreement. Leonard Friend is, with respect, going beyond just confirming there was an agreement and confirming the terms of the agreement and the amount involved. He's claimed privilege on that respect, or in that respect, on that contract.
What would implicate the privilege, just on this one question?
Chairperson, I'm not going to, I will withdraw the question at this point in time. But
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Then perhaps if you could assist us. I'm interested in the nature of relationship that you had with Mr. Karim and how you could persuade him to extend to you a loan of 15 million in the absence of a written agreement, and I assume no security or guarantee for the repayment of that loan. Are you able to take the commissioners into your confidence?
I did not have to persuade him. I just showed him my contract and my SLA, and then I just maybe discussed how much the contract is worth and how much he can make out of it.
Okay.
And then it was not a matter of I had to persuade him. It was either whether he is doing it or not. So I didn't have to persuade him.
Now, originally I thought it was a written agreement, and you corrected me and you said, no, this one was an oral agreement, and I'd asked for a copy of the written agreement.
Between myself and Karim.
And Mr. Karim, you said it was an oral agreement, right?
Yes, yes.
And the benefit of having had a written agreement is that it would then inform the Commission of the terms of the loan, correct?
Yes.
Now, we don't have that benefit. Being an oral agreement, are you able to assess what were the terms of that loan, repayment, whether or not your company or you were restricted in terms of how you utilize those amounts, the 15 million, terms of repayment, length of repayment, interest rate applicable, the usual loan agreement terms, which applied in this case?
Commissioner, like I said before, this is a matter that is in court. However, I will just have to check, because I think I was paying him 10% of what SEPS was paying me.
Yes.
And for a period of how long, I don't remember. I think I was supposed to do that until I I don't remember the contents of the contents of our agreement on top of my head.
Okay.
But what I know is that I was paying him 10% of what SAPS was paying.
Have you paid off this loan
No.
to date or still outstanding? Do you have a sense of the amount outstanding?
No, I don't know.
Any educated guess?
No, I can't.
Seda?
I can't.
You can't answer. But I take it that these are issues that can be addressed by, is it your personal bank account or your company's bank account that was settling the loan? So we can take it from other verifiable sources.
Of course, yes.
Okay. Now,
Can I just ask a question
Yes.
still on this Karim relationship? Mr. Matlala, before you approached, you say you knew Mr. Karim, he had a company, a security company, you also had a security company. Before you approached him for this loan, what was the nature of your relationship with him?
With some, I used to, for me to end up knowing him, he also used to come and visit Mr. Musibi at his farm, and then because he will see me there now and then, we ended up being close. So maybe I will also say because of the advice that we'll share within the security industry, so we ended up becoming close.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
thank you. And perhaps a related question, if I hadn't asked it, when did you get to know Mr. Karim? Were you introduced or you just bumped into each other within the security sector because you both played in that space?
Yeah, we just bump into each other.
When was that?
Maybe during, I'll say from maybe 2020.
2020. And as I understand it, and I speak under correction, Mr. Karim is from the Northwest.
Yes.
Does he provide his services out here in Gauteng, or alternatively, do you provide your services out in Northwest? I'm trying to see where you bumped into each other to get
Yes,
to know
he's
each
from
other.
Northwest, but he stays in Sandton.
Oh, so he operates his security businesses here in the Gauteng area.
I don't know where he operates his business.
So where would you have bumped into each other?
I said he used to visit Mr. Msibi.
Oh, yes, okay. Thank you. And you met him in 2019, you said?
I'm saying maybe 2020, 2021.
19 to 21, thereabout? Okay.
Between a bit, yeah.
All right.
Mr. Matlala, I may have misunderstood your answer in the light of this discussion with Ms. Sidlo. I have you in answer to me, and I may be wrong, I may have misunderstood. I have you saying you met him at Mr. Msibi, and because he was in the security industry, you ended up having discussions, and that's how over time you became close.
Yes,
Is that
that's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, I know that once again you are set your right in respect of the loan and the relationship, the loan advanced by Mr. Karim to you and the relationship you maintain with him. It's fair to assume that when in your supplementary, when dealing with these issues, you are able to delineate matters that you can speak of regarding Mr. Suleiman, and what matter you distinguish that from matters on the basis of which you invoke your rights, and of course you advance the basis for which you contend that your constitutional rights will otherwise be infringed if you are required to testify to those issues. Will you assist us in that sense?
Yes, I will.
And if you may, please, I know you did indicate that you will not recall off the top of your head what the terms of your oral loan agreement were, but I think with application of mind and thinking, you might be able to recall some of these terms and to indicate the status of the loan as we speak.
The status.
The status of the loan. I know you say it's an outstanding. You do not remember the amount of the outstanding amount of the loan. So with time, something might help you recollect, and if you could share that with us. would appreciate that. It is a fact. It is what it is. It's either paid in full or paid in half or 10% paid. I would have a challenge and you claiming that to tell us that 10 million is outstanding would incriminate you, whereas telling us that 3 million is outstanding will not incriminate you. I hope you get what I'm saying. So as to the amount that is outstanding on that loan, it's a fact. And if you could just advise us of that, I would appreciate it.
Commissioner, I don't think I'll be able to because I do not have my bank statements, but I don't know if the Commission has my bank statements. We can check from there and then it will show how much was paid and how much is outstanding.
Well, but then we can only do so if you tell us how many bank accounts you were paying from.
It was paid from my Medicare bank account.
The Medicare
Yes.
bank account.
Yes.
Then we'd have to know the terms. You spoke of 10% of the value of the contract, a whole number of, information, some information will have to be put at our disposal to be able to interpret your bank accounts. Then we'd have to know who the loan was being paid to. Is it to Mr. Karim directly, to a company? You said Tamiz, or which company? How do we trace who is receiving repayment on the loan? You'd have to give us those indications, then at least we know what to start searching for.
So, Chairperson, do I understand my learned friend correctly that the Commission is in possession of the bank statements?
I apologize, Chair. No.
No.
I'm correcting. I never claimed the Commission is in possession of anything.
That's what I wanted to clarify. If they're not, then going further with this would have no, we can't move further with this aspect, and then we have to, because that's what I understood. She said, my learned friend implied that there are bank statements, but the timelines for which is applicable needed to be indicated. So I'm just trying to ascertain, do they have the bank statements or not? Otherwise, we will we'll deal with it ourselves.
Chair, if I may, I'm having an engagement with the witness, and I established what the witness has thus far told the Commission, that there was a loan for 15 million. That one of the terms for this loan was that Mr. Karim would receive 10% of the value of the contract, and that the loan has not been extinguished in its entirety, that it was repayable over a certain period, the detail of which he can't recall, and that it was an oral agreement. So my question is, we now have established that you received 15 million, not all of it has been repaid. He says he was paying through, when I ask what is the outstanding amount, he says that can only be determined through his bank account. I say it's dependent on who was paying towards that loan agreement. You must go on record and you say, my personal bank account. Then we know which account to target to then do that arithmetic exercise. Then you must indicate who it was being paid to. He mentioned a company called Tamiz. There could very well have been another company by Mr. Karim that was receiving on behalf of Tamiz. Are we confronted with such? So the point I'm making was there is so much information and fact that Mr. Matlala must put to us for us to determine whether or not the exercise he wants us to undertake is even feasible. He's not going to search us, he's not going to direct us to go search for every bank account that he could potentially be associated with, and then to read through it and determine whether this amount was it potentially paying towards this loan. That's the only point I'm making. So I'm responding to the invitation by Mr. Matlala.
Mr. Matlala, thank you. Mr. Matlala, I think what you should try to do, I understand you've been saying that some of the issues that are being addressed with you are not practical for you because of where you are. But is it practical for you to, the Commission can subpoena the banks to give us the statements. But there is the detail that Ms. Silo refers to, which is, but what if some payments were not necessarily made to the company that had loaned the amount, which would mean that it's more practical for you to identify the payments from your statements. So would it be possible for you, when the supplementary statement is prepared, to attach the relevant statement and to indicate or identify the particular payments that were made and the entities or persons to whom those payments were made towards repaying the loan? You should be able to do that even if you are in custody, I would think. It is a practical way how, I'm not sure myself, to lay your hands on your bank statements, or rather your company's Medicare 24's bank statement.
Chairperson, unfortunately myself, I won't be able to obtain those statements because my accounts has been frozen. So I don't have any direct, or I cannot even send someone to get those bank statements for me because those accounts are not active anymore. So I do not know how are they. Maybe the Commission can get, but myself I can't.
Perhaps then, Mr. Lo, the Commission should obtain the bank statements. Mr. Matlala should then be furnished with copies of the statements for him to then identify the relevant payments.
We could endeavor to do that, and I'm thinking of the time that we have. But perhaps to assist us in this exercise, if Mr. Matlala in his supplementary statement could answer some basic questions of from which accounts were the payments towards the loan made and who were the recipients of those amounts in part payment of this loan, then at least we can focus our search. So if he was paying out of one account and maybe three, if he could help us identify those accounts, and if the recipients used more than one account, if he could help us identify who the recipients were, then we'll do our best to try and see if we can obtain the accounts for the various entities. Thank you, Chair.
All right, I think practically then let's resolve it that way.
I heard the suggestion. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Now, Mr. Matlala, we are still at your page 16. I think this would be paragraph 27. Once again, unnumbered, it fell off. But I think you may want to read the last paragraph at page 16, which would bring us to the end of your statement.
I reserve my right to provide the Commission with a supplementary sworn statement to deal with issues that have not been dealt with in this affidavit.
Thank you. Now, this would bring us to the conclusion of your statement. I do appreciate that we're going to receive a supplementary statement from you, but at this juncture, is there anything else you'd like to say to the commissioners, or will you use that opportunity after we have traversed your supplementary statement?
You asking if I have something to say to the Commission?
Yeah, if there's anything to add to your statement. If you look at, we are at the conclusion of your statement, so I was asking whether there is anything else you would like to bring to the attention of the commissioners.
Mr. Lo, do you want him to make a closing statement? I have two quick, short questions.
No, absolutely, Commissioner.
That I want to ask, then he can
make his closing statement.
Mr. Matlala, very quickly, when you were talking about your relationship with Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi, you said he used to frequent a clinic that is owned by your company. Was that clinic owned by Medicare 24, or what's the nature of that?
No, it was owned by Medicare 24 Holdings, not my company.
Oh, it was not owned by your company?
Yes.
And you don't know if that clinic had a relationship with the Ekurhuleni municipality?
They did.
They did?
Yes.
And it related to COVID?
Yes.
Okay. But it was not your company,
No.
It was Holdings. Okay, I'm clear. And then, do you or your wife own a company that provided training services to the city of Ekurhuleni or EMPD?
To the city of Ekurhuleni, yes.
What is the name of that company?
It was a Buena Vista Learning Academy.
Buena Vista Learning Academy.
Yes.
Are you a shareholder or a director in that company?
No, I'm not.
You are not?
Yes.
It is owned wholly by your wife?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. That would bring us to the end of Mr. Matlala's statement. And as I just checked with him whether there is anything else he would like to say at this juncture or whether he would reserve that to after we have dealt with his supplementary statement. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Matlala?
No, whatever I have, I will add it on my supplementary statement.
Noted. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of it for now. Ms. van den Heever?
Chairperson, that brings us back to where we were.
Yes.
And that is we would need the opportunity to go through this volume of documents that we only received yesterday and last night. Based on the content thereof, we may or may not also utilize the opportunity to supplement the statement. Then, of course, as we've indicated, we intend to supplement and deal with the factual and legal issues on which we claim certain rights, etc. I think it suffices to say that at this point in time. So I would respectfully then submit that it is it's time for us then to arrange for this matter to then stand over. I know we've had a discussion with me and my learned friends. I've not taken instructions as yet on the timelines from the client himself because he, as he's rightly entitled to, likes to also be involved and because he'd like to be able to go through documents, etc. So maybe we can just at this point place on record what the timelines are that's suggested by my learned friends and that we've discussed before, and then I'd like to take an instruction, of course, also from my attorneys on that issue. And of course, we've got a lot more light down the tunnel in the sense we know what is important on certain issues and whatnot, and what you would like us, yourself and your fellow commissioners, to specifically deal with and highlight and emphasize in such a supplementary affidavit. So that also has guided us to extra input, if I could put it that way, that we need to deal with or provide to you.
Oh, thank you. Does what you are referring to, Ms. van den Heever, relate also to Mr. Matlala being put on terms as to the filing of the supplementary affidavit?
Yes, as I said, also taking into account initially, let me leave it at that at this point in time.
And was a date agreed on that? That is for the filing of the supplementary affidavit?
We've discussed, my learned friend suggested Wednesday. I need to have a quick discussion with my own legal team also to see if it's physically possible, because a lot of aspects I think you can appreciate has now also emerged during the questioning of Mr. Matlala, new issues or issues that you would like him to highlight, my learned friends would like him to highlight. So I would like to take an instruction on the suggestion that we earlier had, because I think that the supplementary affidavit and the application that we need to do, I believe, can be filed at the same time, because both of them, the one supports the other one, so it runs parallel with each other. So may I then ask, maybe it's also a good convenience break for everybody concerned. Maybe we have 10 minutes, and then we can come back and deal with that issue.
Before the commissioners decide whether or not to grant the 10 minutes,
Ms. van den Heever. Yes.
Perhaps to put some issues on the table. Firstly, let's start with a date for appearance by Mr. Matlala. And we have canvassed this with our learned friend, and we are looking at the 24th and the 25th of August, which would be Monday, Tuesday. Now, part of the challenge we have is Mr. Matlala's criminal trial is set to resume after the 28th of August, and that is what encroached on our 1st of September original set-down date. And I think it starts whenever after the 28th, which is a Friday, until a date in mid-September. So if we juggle our program, we have put to Ms. van der Heever that we can accommodate perhaps we can do 24, 25, so that Mr. Matlala can dispose of commission matters, and then he can turn his attention to his criminal trial, which then would be coming up the week after. So we then had to discuss filing dates for the supplementary, and in fact, for the benefit of Ms. van der Heever, I think the Commission was kind that we had said the supplementary affidavit can be filed on Thursday, not Wednesday. But there is a challenge. There is this application that Mr. van der Heever intends to bring, where she intends to raise some points in limine, and I understand that there are a few of them, which, in order for the Commission to provide guidance on or make rulings, will have to be in writing. The evidence leaders would need opportunity to respond thereto in writing, and to the extent necessary, Ms. van der Heever and her team would reply. And we wanted the Commission to have in hand the complete application no later than Thursday, because she has suggested perhaps the filing of heads of argument, which could be necessary, so that could be done maybe sometime over the course of the weekend, Friday or Saturday. This is all in anticipation of the Monday 24th continuation. The idea Ms. van der Heever had was that application will then be disposed of first, come the 24th, because it will dictate how we deal with the remainder of the evidence, how do we engage with the witness, and we will be guided by the ruling that the commissioners make in that regard. So then, just to retrace my steps, that I understand from Ms. van der Heever that she says the supplementary statement is relevant for, and it underpins this procedural application she wants to bring. The result would be, we thought we were being kind by saying file the supplementary on Thursday, because insofar as this preliminary points application she wants to bring, we're going to request that that application be filed by tomorrow. It's got, we think that it would be crisper than a supplementary affidavit that the client then has to consider and file would be, to enable us to respond thereto by Wednesday, close of business, and Mr. Matlala's legal team in return to reply, should the need arise, by Thursday, and be able to give the commissioners the full file by close of business on Thursday. That is the offer that was on the table. But the problem with the application itself being filed only on Thursday, then it impacts the question of we can only reply by late Friday afternoon, or answer by late Friday afternoon. Over the weekend, then we exchange any other documents and heads of argument, but it is the commissioners then who bear the brunt, because they don't have the opportunity to apply their minds to a complete application substantiated by heads of argument. But we are in your hands in that regard. I just thought I should bring to your attention the discussions that we have had and the basis for which we made certain recommendations.
Ms. Fanny here, the points in limine, are they pure legal points?
No, my lord, Chairperson. The fact is the points we wish to rate, the legal points, are substantiated by facts. Give you a simple example. I say my client is a suspect in a matter. You expect me to file an affidavit and set out why we say he's a suspect in point A. That takes time. It's not something that falls out of the air and can be done overnight with the greatest of respect. It's something that needs time to properly set out a factual foundation on which you decide the legal points that we then raise.
So it's those legal points relate to, in the main, the privilege that's being asserted.
It's not, yeah, it's not only.
Or are there other
There's
points?
there's other points too,
in
but
limine?
all of them,
Okay.
as I've indicated to you since this morning, is substantiated by facts.
Facts, okay.
And for us to deal with all of those facts, we do need time, because it became quite clear from the questions posed to the client that we have to go almost above and beyond the way we thought we could deal with it. We need to go and find substantiation in respect to certain aspects to basically deal with those issues. You cannot, whether it's in law or otherwise, it's part of the Commission's work too. You cannot raise a point in limine without the factual foundation that is there, more specifically based on the various points that we wish to raise.
No, I asked the question, but of course, no longer assists us anyway. But why I asked the question was, if it was pure legal questions, then the timelines could be truncated with regard to the points in limine only. That, of course, would still leave aside the supplementary affidavit and when you file and so on, when the two sides file and so on. But by the way, the evidence leaders don't need to file anything with regard to the supplementary affidavit.
Indeed, my lord, Chairperson, there's no need for them to answer any of those aspects. It's going to be a simple argument. They're going to say, based on the facts you put forward, you cannot claim that you are a suspect and therefore you're entitled to the rights envisaged in Section 35 as an example. Or based on this, you cannot claim that. But before that argument can be made before you, there needs to be facts.
But of course, what I just said now is subject to the fact that a point has been made that there's going to be an application. So once something takes the form of an application, they may well have to answer, or rather to file an answering affidavit.
Indeed. We just thought the reason why I've discussed this approach with my learned friends, as I said, is because if you are with us on certain aspects, it would be the end of any interrogation or whatever you want to call it on those issues. In other words, we would reach finality on those issues. There would be, again, there would no interrogation on those issues. If you're not, then of course we've got the right to reply there to and deal with those issues. If you can bear with me. Please.
And let me, whilst you're talking to, let me just say this. Is there any hope that if we take a 10-minute stand down or adjournment, there can be agreement on timelines, or shall we have to force our own timelines?
Yeah, I would appreciate that, Chairperson. As you can see, we have roped in or pulled in juniors to assist us in some of these issues.
Sorry, Ms. van der Heef, your mic, please.
Sorry, they are quite important issues in the context of what we're dealing with. The situation of Mr. Matlala is very unique to the Commission's work at this point. And I would like to discuss it also with my juniors. I think they've got a right, as well as my attorneys, to give input into this particular aspect.
Okay. All right, we'll take the 10-minute adjournment then. Failing agreement, we will then impose timelines ourselves. We're in 14:46, quarter to you. Okay. We'll come back at 10 to 3. Let's adjourn. Yes,
Yes, Chair.
Ms. Sello, Ms. Van der Heever.
I think best I hand over to Ms. van der Heever to put to the commissioners the proposal, put to us to consider, and I do so